Hi, Therese.
So what account are you using on Facebook?
Unsupported, get request.
WFWP?
I think Austria. I don't know which one.
It's still fighting with the settings. Connection is timed out. Meet and greet. Share to your page. Go live.
Yes, I can see it already on WFWP Austria.
Oh,
It says it's live now.
I'm following.
thank you.
Because
Yes.
it's
You have a
telling
new
me that
follower.
it's timed out.
Yeah, I can see it now.
All right.
Oh my God, we're there already.
So also I want to say I will keep the introductions short to give every one of you more time to talk. I hope you're fine with this, because sometimes I receive a lot of CV, but anyway, you explain yourself. So 1 minute. 1 minute to go.
Let's do it.
Now. So I think Lily lets everyone in. Yeah, looks like people are coming. So, oh, how long can a minute be? How long can a minute last? Yes. Okay. Yes. Now we are recorded. So, good evening, dear friends. I think I can say dear friends and colleagues from all around the world, from Asia to America to Europe, North and South of Europe. Welcome to our meet and greet. It is the third meet and greet that we had already. It's initiated by Merle Sokwila-Plaschke from Corinthia. It's her idea. The topic is working together for a more resilient and sustainable future for generations to come. What we as civil society can bring to the table to support the SDGs. The SDGs are the Sustainable Development Goals. These are the goals that the UN set up to reach a livable world, I would say, for everyone by 2030. It's maybe not really realistic that we will reach it, but there are 17 points mentioned in the SDGs that each country and each society should take care of and look that they are moving forward. So very important to move forward is the civil society, every one of us. And we all, I think most of us, many of us are part of NGOs and initiatives, big and small. So we're all contributing to these SDGs, to the world, because I think we come together because we desire a world where every child can smile, and there is a world, there is no fear anymore, no dangers, besides maybe the nature that sometimes comes with strong, rough winds and things like that. We're all working for that. It's our common desire. So we're very happy and grateful that you take time to be with us. I'm the moderator. I'm Renate Amisbauer. I jump in because our dear colleague, Kyung In van de Ven, she became sick, so she cannot be with us tonight. I'm the chair of the Women Federation in Austria and secretary for our UN work in Vienna. So it's my pleasure to invite our first speaker, because maybe you want to learn a little bit more about Women Federation. Some of you might not know so much. And this is Dr. Maria Riel. Dr. Maria Riel is medical doctor. She's been medical doctor almost all her life. But besides that, she brought the idea of Women Federation to Austria 32 years ago, never stopped working for this, inspiring us. And so she will go and tell a little bit about our organization to you. So let's come, Maya Riel, and the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you very much, Renate. Greetings from Sebenstein. I live in Austria, 60 kilometers south from Vienna. And I greet you from the bottom of my heart. I participated on the first meeting of Women's Federation for World Peace in Seoul in April 10th, 32 years ago. It means 1992. Our federation was founded by Dr. Hak Ja Han Moon. She is mother of 14 children and wife of late Reverend Dr. Sun Myung Moon. And people from over 70 nations participated on this opening ceremony, and 150,000 Korean families also participated on the founding of the Women's Federation for World Peace, international and national. In our days, we have chapters in 120 nations, and they are all working for well-being of families. We accept our uniqueness as women from our, like Creator gave us lots of capacity to serve others, to live for families, for our husbands, for our children, and for environment. So this is they are our three big topics. We can work on it, and also our projects or our actions, our activities are connected with these topics. The role of women in our days is very important topic, and we can study what can we do as women, as mothers, as daughters, as sisters, and how we can support our husbands with our work, how we can support our children and even grandchildren, and how we can come in touch with the origin of the creation. So we believe that we are not creator of the universe. We study it, and through studying we can become co-creator. We can work together, and we can use the laws. We can study it, and we can make this planet and even universe very nice place for everybody of us. I will also speak our pledge, what we say, like women, we pledge to become true daughters, attending our parents with purity and a heart of filial piety, true wives, supporting our husbands through self-sacrifice and faithfulness, and true mothers, nurturing our children with love and devotion, thereby creating true families of true love who attend God. We pledge to become true women leaders, pioneering the peaceful world of the original creation by actively serving society. So this is their ideas, what we always are connecting with, and we wish you, we are doing lots of networking. We like to work with other groups. They are also interested in the same, they have the same vision that we have. So on these steps, we can make a world of peace and happiness for everybody. So if everybody, we cannot leave anybody behind. We can embrace all our people we meet in our neighborhood, in our family, and even as today in other countries, as it was mentioned, from America to Africa, or I don't know, wherever you are. So greetings from South, or from Vienna and from Austria to all of you. Thank you very much to connecting with us and to being with us today. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Dankeschön. Thank you, dear Maya. So we want to move on to our first speaker of the panel, Miss Marivia Montebon. She lives in New York, but I think you're born Filipino. She is a journalist and she has a media company, Awesome Media. She is founder of online magazine OSM and many other things in the world of media. A long list. She is also author of several books. She is the awardee of Her Story in 2023 in New Jersey. And she created a series, an online series in the COVID time, The Woman's World. We joined it a few times. It was very exciting, a series of 24 parts through the whole COVID time. So Miss Mari, we are very happy that you're with us. And we are very interested to listen to you, what you want to tell us. Welcome, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Renate, for this chance to share. And thank you to Merly for the invitation. It's an honor to be here. And I'm in New York. Right now it's 2 p.m. The snowstorm just passed. So it's getting better. And so I'm going to share with you my experience in promoting sustainability as a journalist, because that's where I'm coming from. I was a journalist when I was 17 years old, starting off at the university setting. I was a campus journalist, starting as a news reporter when I was in first year. And when I finished psychology, I was also editor-in-chief of our college paper. So that was enough for me to have a very exciting university life, being able to talk to people and write about it in our paper. And I believe that my practice in journalism is a calling. It's not just a profession. It is a passion and a personal contribution to society. And so right now I'm here in New York, and I have developed along the times several platforms for mass communication. But my basic training was practically print journalism. And now we have evolved into running an online magazine, which I co-founded with my daughter. Very interesting, very exciting time in my life when my daughter was in college, because she was taking up media studies. And I tell this to you in honor of her. She passed away in 2019, and I miss her every day. We could have been really a spectacular tandem, because she is into media. She's media savvy. She is so good at technology, where I am not. So the evolution of journalism from print to digital was inspired by my daughter. But you know, life gets brutal. She passed away due to colon cancer, and in a very early age. So I pursue this with her memory in my heart and mind. So in New York, we set up, it's already 13 years old, our online magazine, and it has become a platform for narratives of women, of communities, of people, immigrants trying to carve a life in the new land, particularly here in the US. So that has been our platform, because I'm an immigrant myself. So that's that. And way back in the Philippines, I believe that my coming full circle as a journalist was when I was asked to write and eventually become the regional bureau chief of Women's Feature Service. It's the only non-profit news agency of that covers women and is led by women. And this is like an offshoot to the United Nations efforts of women, because we were funded by the UN Women's Commission. So, you know, you'll never know how a big effort you're doing at the UN, and then it goes local, and then it makes you, it enriches you as a person being part of that small agency that we had in the Philippines. So I believe that, you know, I've been covering culture, politics, business, and then when I landed into women's issues, this was in the early 2000s, I really felt that I have matured in my profession and in my calling. So since then, it has become consistent, and I have put it in my heart and in my DNA to really include women's narratives. And so fast forward, during COVID, another add-on to my journalism expertise, so to speak, is being able to navigate Zoom meetings like this and hold and organize podcasts and create, in fact, a show based on the digital technology. So that's the latest addition to my journey as a journalist. So it wasn't so bad, therefore, the pandemic, because I learned, and perhaps all of us learned something, and still were able to connect and keep our sanity a little bit during those trying times. So now can I ask the admin person to show my slides, please, my PowerPoint, so I can explain further the coverage that we do for women, about women. Thank you. And so I'd like to share this with you. This is a very recent article. I just posted this 2 days ago. This is an example of a sustainability effort on the ground in the Philippines, where I was born. And so this is a feature story on human nature. It is a social enterprise that was founded by very holistic-minded Filipino, Miloto. His family name is Miloto, and he has 2 daughters who are sustained this effort. And so what they did was they create personal health care products. You know, women love to take care of their skin, makeup, and all that. So they went into that enterprise and tapped the producers, the farmers, and made sure that they created or produced organic plants and herbs to become the supply for the cosmetics and personal care products of the people in the Philippines. So this became a nationwide effort, and I am highlighting this because this is one of the very inspiring enterprises that any business entity could do. Like, they should ensure the regeneration of the earth, and while making your consumers safe, making them use safe products, and at the same time making sure that the producers are not left behind, but also they're part of the progress, that their incomes are increased because they have been tapped to produce so much herbs and plants to supply to the cosmetic industry. So I love this story. And the person you see here is Josine. Josine is actually my classmate in high school. And I felt so happy that, oh, she's into this business, and she articulated very well. We share the same passion of, helping develop people and the country. And so this was a very heartwarming data gathering and learning from people on the ground doing their good things, the good things that they can in their lifetime. So this is an example of sustainability for me, and which I believe as well as a journalist. The next slide, please. And so this is another story that I made, or I've always been writing. maybe you're familiar with Merly Barlaan. She is a sister in my spiritual sister. She is a leader here in New York, and she has been promoting permaculture, which is a small scale production of food and gardens to counter what has been established globally as a monoculture. You see, we have vast tracts of land, all dedicated to corn, all dedicated to production of tobacco and all that. But this has eroded the soil, the entire earth. So that creates soil erosion, and everything is connected. Soil erosion goes to the rivers, and then the rivers are poisoned, and the farmers get less and less of produce from the earth. Now, we have learned after so many years that we can thrive on permaculture, that people can do small stuff gardening and can sustain their families. So this is a learning which has been promoted by, in fact, WFWP, and Merly is personally doing this. And this picture is her homeland in Bohol, in another island in the Philippines. So she has been educating the young people and the farmers, the women, to buy into permaculture because it's doable and it immediately yields results if people are consistently doing it. So the next slide, please. Merly actually is the UN director for New York under WFWP USA International. So during pandemic, Merly was doing her permaculture inside her house. And so you see the house is like a forest. I would tease her like, you have forested your house. And so she grew certain beans there, I can see, and some flowers. So it's diversity right in your house. And as a journalist, I pick that up as a story, an inspiring story, which is, out of the normal mind of a journalist, that we only write about the big news, the big officials, the celebrities. We also write about what people are doing. I mean, at least I do, because I have a different consciousness now that whatever innovation or breakthrough, we need to write it so that people can buy in and follow it. So this is Merly doing her garden, potted garden in New Jersey. And so she inspired me. I also bought a bag of organic soil from Amazon. And I also made my own gardening in my own house. And I grew onions and some flowers. And it's so amazing to see all those the plants sprouting out from your bedroom. So that was very heartwarming. And so little by little, my belief is we all can do it. If we trust that we can do it, we will be able to hurdle earth regeneration in all fronts, whether you are in the urban setting or in the rural setting. So that's oh, and by the way, Merly created a podcast. It's called Merly's World, and which I directed. So here we have the collaboration of us, two women who believe on the same thing together. And so I did all the camera for her and what she would say, and she would collaborate, of course, deepen what she has to say. But all our mass media collaboration had been very fruitful. We ran the show for a year. And now Merly is running the WFWP communications with younger people also leading the program. So there you go, the sustaining effect of what we started, and now the young people are doing it as well here in New York. So that's that. And then I believe that we all can do something to sustain the earth, because it essentially just means earth regeneration and social justice. And as a journalist, we naturally amplify whatever is being done, whether it's negative or positive. So we amplify community and individual action, just like what I mentioned in the 2 stories I did. I choose what are best practices, what are the inspiring ones, and what needs to be improved. If there are efforts to, for example, clean up a river and why it still gets dirty and all that. So the community learns from it, and it gives me so much inspiration and kick and perk to write about what the community is doing positively. So we see that when you are doing sustainable projects, you see immediate results. You see increased incomes of people, particularly in the village of Merli. The farmers earned immediately, and they put healthy food on the table. And women are empowered, communities are empowered, children are empowered. So the effect is amazing. It's the entire village. You have clean water if you know how to manage your resources. You have lighted houses. I know Merli Blasque has been promoting this solar lamps that help blighted communities in rural and urban areas. So that's the element of sustainability. And also, I strongly advocate and advocate for no to war campaigns, because we need to have a peaceful environment before progress happens. So all these global wars, where it's intervention war, it's offensive war, has to stop, because the earth can only carry too much, and women must articulate the voice of peace, and which I know WFWP is doing. So my closing message would be to ask everyone to support ethnic and local media. Right now, there is a very dramatic change in the face of mass communication. You see that the print industry has already been toppled. Like there's no much viability in print media. What happens now is like all of us are on social media, and social media depends on who is using it. If you are responsible, it is good for you. I'm responsible, then I put out responsible and messages that are good for the public. But this has been not the case, because there are many others who exploit media, social media, and provide wrong information, fake news. So we are in a very challenging period, we journalists. So I really ask that you tap into local media to write about what's going on in your community, so that the real thing, the good thing that you're doing are being put on a platform that people can see and read. And so we amplify life on the ground. We write about obscure people who are doing good things. And finally, I believe that that democracy thrives only on truth, because we deal with our problems, we have to face it, and we articulate our problems. So that is the reason why the media is important. And so help us and let us coordinate and cooperate, collaborate, complement, so that the message of truth and could inspire everyone. So that's my sharing this evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for very inspiring work, and thank you for what you're doing. It's really very valuable for Merli in New York, but also for all of us and for the world of women to share the good stories, the small ones as much as the big ones. Thank you very much, Ms. Montebon.
Thank you.
So, yeah, we'll move on to the next speaker. I just had a thought, because Mr. Escarilla, he's joining from the Philippines, and it's really, really in the night. So I was just wondering if we want to change and take him the next, and then continue with Mr. Prokofiev. I don't know. Would this be an option for you, Mr. Escarilla, and for you, Mr. Prokofiev?
I don't even see Mr. Prokofiev on the screen anymore, so that would be a good idea.
Yes, okay. So, Mr. Escarilla, are you ready to come in now? And then you are safe or stay free to stay with us as long as you can manage. We are very,
Okay.
yeah,
I'll do
thank
it
you
now.
for coming.
Thank
You're,
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Renate.
so maybe I just pass on the floor to you. You're our leadership in communication coach, interpersonal communication and public speaking. You have a lot of experience with people of all different walks of life, 30 years, I read. You are a
Yes, thank
Toastmaster,
you.
like Lily also is, and you're doing amazing things. I heard good stories from my colleagues. Mr.
Yeah.
Escamilla, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Renate. Good evening, colleagues, and good evening to everyone. I was in Austria last year from September to December, and I really love the first thing that I watched that I really love was the system in transportation. Everything is on time. I like it very much, and I was so much impressed. And also, I love the culture, the Austrian culture. I really, really love it. That's why I want to go back there in summer and again experience your warm hospitality. As I watched the earlier meet and greet sessions, I saw a shared vision of a world where people live in peace, harmony, and mutual understanding. No more worries about human trafficking because this is what I saw in the presentations. And then no more worries about hunger and no more worries about prejudice against the underprivileged. And in my mind, this is the reason we are working together for a more resilient and sustainable future. Everyone is contributing, and whatever that contribution is, whether big or small, it is so important in making this world a better place to live in. For my contribution, I would like to share my knowledge and experience in interpersonal communication and public speaking. I believe that effective communication through meaningful conversations and public speaking can help influence people's beliefs, purpose, and behavior. This is one way to develop leaders who can help us spread our mission. We need to grow. We must develop leaders if we want to involve a considerable number of people in this noble endeavor. Meaningful conversation, what is this? There are three things we do in a conversation. We speak, we listen, we think. There are people I've observed who talk because they just want others to listen to them. But when it's their turn to listen, they listen, yes. But do they listen well enough? Is there empathy in their listening? Or do they just listen to fire and auto response at once? More often, this kind of response does not satisfy the other person's expectations, and this results in misunderstanding. For a conversation to be meaningful, listening is especially important. Listening is not just about hearing, it is about understanding the other person's thoughts and feelings. We need to listen not only to the words being said, but also to the tone of voice and actions that reveal the other person's emotions and intentions. Listening gives the person the feeling of being valued. It builds trust. It encourages the person to talk. Aside from listening, asking is likewise important. Asking to explore the person's wants, needs, expectations, thoughts, and feelings. Asking to clarify and confirm what the person said. And asking reflective questions to expand the other person's thinking. How we respond is also quite important. Auto-response is not always effective. Instead, we need to think first so we can improvise our response to align with the other person's thoughts and feelings. What the person wants, what the person needs, what the person is expecting. In that way, we can be understood, and understanding can harmonize our conversation. As Covey puts it, Stephen Covey puts it, seek first to understand, then to be understood. This is the essence of a meaningful conversation. It brings constructive participation to the conversation. Synergy is the key to successful outcomes in every conversation. Next is public speaking. Public speaking is important in achieving our goal of working together. We can use public speaking to make social connections, to bring people together, and to bring in supporters. We can also teach future leaders public speaking to spread the news about what we are doing and share the vision for a more resilient and sustainable future, and that can make this world a better place to live in for the generations to come. In summary, mastery in interpersonal communication and public speaking can indeed help us and our supporters fulfill this noble mission. Back to you, Madam Renate.
Thank you very much, Mr. Escarilla. It was a joy to listen to you, and thank you so much that you understand our goals, that you somehow really align with our goals of our work. Thank you. I was thinking listening with the ears and listening with the heart. Both is important. Thank you very much for your contribution. Now we want to move on. I don't know if Mr. Prokofiev is here. Does someone see him? Do you see him, Lily? Or someone else?
No, I don't see him.
Okay, so we just move on and we see when he comes back, we give him the floor. So then I want to move on to Miss Mira Collis. Now we just move on and we see when he comes back, we give him the floor. So then I want to move on to Miss Mira Collis. Why do I hear myself now? He comes back.
That must be the live on Facebook.
Yes, so Miss Mira Collis, she's living in the Netherlands, but also a born Filipino. This is the network of our dear Merly Soquila. She knows all her colleagues all over the world. She is founder and chairperson of Marika's Foundation, a civic organization dedicated to eradicating prejudice against indigenous people. I'm very moved by this title. I'm very happily thinking of our time together in Vienna 1.5 years ago when she came with her organization, Island Europe. Miss Collis, we are very excited to listen to you now, and the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much, Renata, and so good to see everyone. I think I'm not gonna tell more about myself, but yeah, indeed, I'm the founder and chairperson of Mabika's Foundation. It stands for the 6 provinces in the Philippine Cordillera. But I'm also an advocate for women's rights and indigenous people's rights, and of course, diversity, equity, and inclusion. So the theme for tonight is really fitting, and I'm so excited to share something. I hope that we get something out of it in the end. So once again, thank you so much for having me. It's good to see familiar faces. And let me start by saying that in many of today's discussion on empowering women and youth, most of the times the most important group is left out. Can you guess which group is that? By the way, you can also turn on your mic because I want it more to be interactive. Could you guess which important group is left out in the discussion of empowering women and youth? Any
Even
ideas?
the women or the youth.
I'm still here, Mera, from Cecil,
Ay, Cecil, yes.
Austria, and
Good to see.
WFWP in Austria, Babaylan European
Yes.
Network in Austria.
Yes, yes, good to see you. So the group I'm referring to are the mothers. Yeah. So today, as we talk about creating a more resilient and inclusive society, I really want to shine a spotlight on mothers whose voices have long been silenced and whose struggles and triumphs are often overlooked in our conversations. So for a moment, let's think of the mothers, juggling multiple responsibilities, raising human beings, so to say, managing household chores, and perhaps working to make ends meet. And as women and as mothers ourselves, I'm sure most of us here are mothers. It is only natural to dream of a better future for our families, or even of financial independence for ourselves, and of living our authentic selves, right? Yet when we aspire to achieve all of this, we can find ourselves drowning in exhaustion. We are so tired, we are so stressed, we are so angry most of the time, frustrated, and you name it. And this is simply because aspiring to fill all of these roles without support is impossible. And if we listen closely to the stories of mothers around us, including our own, we realize more and more that our voices, our pleas and our calls for help are often silenced, if not sidelined or sidetracked by too many societal expectations and also systemic barriers. So, for instance, gender norms itself. For centuries, mothers are expected to primarily take care of the family and do domestic responsibilities, while fathers are expected to be the primary breadwinners, right? And this gender based division of labor can really limit mothers' opportunities for career development and financial independence. Let's also look at the workplace discrimination. Of course, it is not a secret that women in general and mothers in particular are often facing discrimination in terms of salary scales, and of course also opportunities for promotions. And not only because we are women, but also because of the assumption about our mother duties, and that is just so sad. And that brings us to financial constraints. Apparently, economic inequality and the lack of access to resources can exacerbate the challenges faced by mothers. You can also relate it to yourselves, particularly, I mean, from the point of view indigenous people, I can relate a lot on this. And with that, when I said marginalized community, I also meant limited access to affordable housing. We see that even here in Netherlands, in Austria, in Europe, healthcare, access to transportation, and other basic necessities. And all this, it makes it all the more difficult for our mothers to provide for families and also to pursue their aspirations in life. So, furthermore, when we talk about societal expectations and systemic barriers, look at the social stigma, especially on mothers. For some reasons, we have this mindset that when a mother opted for a full-time stay-at-home job over building up her career and hence becoming unemployed, what do we often hear? The society often look down at these women as if they value nothing just because they are employed, when, well, in fact, mothers are the most hardworking women in the world and the most selfless people, as they give all what they have even without compensation, right? And some mothers also choose to focus on building up their careers, and yet they still face the stigma of being seen as unfit mothers. How could that be? So where do you go? So the stigma and the belittlement that faced by mothers regarding their choices concerning work, concerning childcare and family life can significantly impact their mental and well-being. So such a stigma may also discourage them from seeking support or even saying out loud, talking about their struggles. So these are just examples among the many cases that illustrate how societal expectations and systemic barriers can impact mothers' ability to achieve financial independence, pursue their dreams, and live authentically while juggling multiple roles. So why am I saying this? Why I'm saying this is because if we want to have a resilient and inclusive future, how we treat the mothers in society is really the key. This also implies the need for a shift in mindset to recognize and appreciate the vital role of mothers in society. So, indeed, the role and impact of mothers in human development are so crucial that it can break and shape the welfare and health of society and even the economy at large. And we all know this one. This is not new, but for some reason, society as a whole is seemingly not so keen in turning all the experience-based knowledge and insights into something that we could all benefit from, and that is action. We really need to empower the mothers, and that is the thing that I see which is missing in our goal to achieving the sustainable development goals. So we know that mothers play a role in early childhood development. We also know that mothers play a central role in promoting the health and well-being of families. As we all know, with healthy families comes lower healthcare costs, right? With healthy families, we have increased productivity and we have a more robust workforce, and therefore we can benefit the overall economy. We also know that when mothers have access to education and employment opportunities and financial resources, they contribute to household income and economic stability. We know all this, and we know that when mothers, um, how do you say, the values, the beliefs, and the behaviors that taught by mothers, they shape the attitudes and action of their children, who in turn become the active participants in shaping the society. And I find this really very important because by nurturing compassionate, resilient, and socially responsible individuals, our children, the mothers who are nurturing them, can contribute not only to creating a more equitable and sustainable world, but also to reducing and combating crimes or social problems like crimes and violence, if you notice that. So we are all aware of this. As I've said, this is nothing new. But what do we do with all the knowledge and insights and the awareness that we have? I live in the Netherlands, which is widely regarded as one of the most developed countries in the world. Yet, despite our progress, many women, I would say, like both locals and migrants alike, they still find themselves struggling with the current situation of and expectations that becoming mothers often lead to diminished employment opportunities and stunted career growth. And I would like to ask, must this always be the case? Is it fair that entering motherhood seems to signal the end of one's personal and professional growth? Shouldn't it be the opposite, right? Shouldn't we instead champion the idea that motherhood represents a significant milestone in our journey toward self-actualization as human beings? So, in this short talk, I just want to strongly call for a strengthened and unified action towards investing in mothers' empowerment and mothers' well-being and in motherhood as an agency, because doing so is not only a matter of social justice but also a strategic step towards achieving these SDGs that we are talking about. So yes, I would say yes, please invest in mothers empowerment wherever you are. You don't have to be in a high position. Whoever you are, whatever position you are, and regardless of your status in life, I call that we all advocate and do something to make this happen. And some of us, of course, would say, how can that be possible? What can we do? And we can already think of advocating for accessible childcare services, which includes expanding, the childcare subsidies, establishing community-based childcare centers. Through our organizations and through our work, we can also advocate for providing training and support for childcare providers. Another thing is when we think of education and training programs, we can demand for a more targeted initiatives for reskilling and upskilling. And that's something that I would really like to emphasize, because even for me as a migrant here in the Netherlands, I need to really reskill and upskill. And despite the fact that I reached the age of 40, I, I I took the courage to go back to university and study law. And so thankfully I finished the Bachelor of Law for 3 years, and then I continued doing the master, and now I got my master's in international technology in my 40s. So but that for me, I think is really necessary for us, especially migrant women, for us to reskill and make ourselves relevant in today's ever advancing world. And so education and training programs, I think we could really continue to advocate for that. And of course, for us who are working, we can continue to create supportive environments, especially if you're an employee or employer, I mean to say. The other thing is also financial empowerment programs for nonprofits or other initiatives, or even if you are working in a company mm, for business, we can always support financial empowerment programs for low-income mothers to achieve economic stability. In short, I call for community engagement and advocacy, and that is really the gist of my message. And what do I mean by that? Let's call for the engagement of mothers as key stakeholders in community decision-making processes. Let's call for the engagement of mothers in policy making and advocacy efforts, because I really believe that creating platforms for mothers to voice their concerns, to share their experiences, and participate in collective action to address systemic barriers and promote social change is really important. So if you know of one, please make it known and advocate for it by sharing and increasing visibility of such initiative. For now, I haven't seen one or even heard one yet. So as much as I wanted to elaborate further, of course, we are limited by time. So I just want to end by urging each of you to be part of the action. Let's advocate for the integration of the concerns, the value, the pleas, and the struggles of mothers into decision-making processes across all sectors. I say that again, all sectors, be it in education, in policymaking, social benefits, and beyond. Because it's really, really important that we ensure that mothers get what they deserve. Without mothers, of course, we are not all here, and that we as mothers also are not just passive recipients of change, but we also become active participants in shaping change. So let's speak up. So in the words of Audre Lorde, if you know her, she's a civil rights activist and feminist. She said, when we speak, we are afraid. When we speak, we are afraid our words will not be heard or welcome. But that goes the same thing when we are silent, right? We are still afraid. So it is better to speak up. So again, my friends, I would say my friends, let us break the silence and let's amplify the voices of the mothers. And together, let's build a future where every mother can flourish, where her dreams are realized and her contributions are valued. Because whether we like it or not, the more we ensure the mothers in society are empowered, valued, and heard, the more we can ensure that resilient and sustainable future that we are all aiming for. And that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank
Thank
you,
you very
Mera.
much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You are muted, Renate.
That needs to begin. So actually, today you can be ensured that you are heard today on online and on Facebook, and we will also, there is a recording so we can share it again. Thank you very much. You made very good points. I think we have to collect examples where there have been solutions found. I know 2 ladies on the call that did find a solution within their family framework. And we are also a women organization that really encourages fathers to be part of the life in the family, not only outside, but also at home. We think also this is very important, but it's a very important point. And we have to always look at that, yeah. We also learned that being parent is actually a very good education, even to be a better person, a better teacher, or it helps you not to be better, but it changes something in your personality. It's a kind of development you go through as a parent, and it helps you in your professional work as well. So in some countries, this is valued when you have children and you have been taking care of your children, even as a father. I heard these stories, even some years ago, not only today. So I think there is hope, but thank you very much for making these points because they're still very, very important. So now we want to continue. And we have as our next, I don't know if Mr. Prokofiev is somewhere here.
If he's here, he better shout out because I can't find him. I suggest Ribka next.
Yes. So we take our youngest member on the panel, Miss Ribka Raipobati. We are very grateful that you are here now. She lives in Pakistan. She is, even being so young, she is a teacher. She is influenced by the poor surroundings she lives in. She sees so many children who need help and even children who don't have parents. So she started a project for children, Jesus Kids Care Center, to take care of some of the children in her surrounding. And so, dear Ribka, we are very interested to listen to your story. Please share your slides or or is Lily going to share the video? The floor is yours.
Okay, I'll share the video.
Okay, thank you very much. Lily is sharing the video that you sent to us today.
Hello everyone.
I don't know what to do, I don't know what to say. My mind is killing me, these numbers aren't going straight up. Maybe if I talk about some things I don't really want to talk about, I'll make some money and I'll go on tour, so I don't have to go to school anymore. Things just really aren't that bad. I got a nice mom and I got a cool dad. I just stay in my room too long, but I finally got a girlfriend and she's the bomb.
Thank you very much for the videos.
Renata, you're muted.
Yeah, maybe Ribka, you want to tell us a little bit about your project?
Okay.
Yes, we like to listen to you.
I am very excited. I am very excited today because I am first member for Zoom meeting, and my current topic is poor sociality. I want to tell you that here is a Pakistan, and there are many poor peoples here in Pakistan. They cannot feed their children, nor can they clean their properties, and the children's work today. Some people's work in bricklines, and the poor peoples they work on the servant and do want, and the people make them slaves because those who work on the supervisor cannot educate these children because they are too poor. I want to do something for children people's not can't educate them, can service and advance their education and get their educational blessings. So that and the parents, they parents, some have a parents and some children's not have a parents. And I will build in some children's in our buildings, and the children some more provides informations and educations. I want to do something for children. All the people here want to help the kids, but their success in the future and a good past. And all the people here not help the kids, because I am very sad in some poor children have no parents, have no food, have no clothes, have no books, have no bags, is very poor, and then very poor. And because they're here Pakistan very poor country, all my friends, and I teach orphanage children, and some orphanage and some have a parents, because I send all videos in my I know you I am very excited for you online my on Zoom meeting, because I am very poor and some children also, and I want to build a building in our children's, and I am very excited you can help me all children's. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Miss Ripka. Thank you for sharing your life with these children and sharing your story with us. Maybe we can find out through a network that we can help you and help you a little bit more in your situation. Yeah, maybe some people are listening who are also ready to help, and they are close by. Sometimes it's good to have people close by that are ready to help you with your
Okay, thank you.
children. Thank you very much for sharing, and you did it very well, being the first time on
Thank
Zoom.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So we continue with the program. Now we have one person, one friend, but I don't think he's here, a friend from Kenya. He said he would try to be here, but he's in the neighbor country of Tanzania, or little in the jungle. So
You mean Justus is here?
Justus is here. No, it is Paul.
Oh, okay, Paul, okay.
We were waiting for Paul, but maybe he doesn't make it this time, so we promised to him he will be able to talk next time. And if Mr. Prokofiev is he here? But maybe he's not here. Does someone see him? Or he can make himself known, or we can listen to him. Then I have one more friend I invited on short notice, Mr. Hamed Rakif. I saw him in the beginning. He is a journalist, and I think media and journalism is a very important profession. So I said, if he's here, he can just introduce himself 2 or 3 minutes. He lives in Vienna, and we met recently at a conference, at a big human rights conference in the City Hall in Vienna. Mr. Rakif, I want to give the floor to you.
Thank you very much, Renata. Hello, everybody. I don't know if you hear me good or not, because I think there's like a problem today with my...
We hear you. Yep, good.
So yeah, today I am just a listener. So since I'm already like invited in the last minute, so but I can also say a little bit about myself. So I am a journalist with experience like over 18 years. My specialization international relations, but I'm also with academic legal background. So I am doing my LLM, almost finished my LLM in human rights in Vienna University. So yeah, I mean, it's really very interesting topic today. I think, it's like, since we talk about like over the world and like everywhere, I could just, for example, sometimes just talk also about like Middle East, because I think one reason of like, because, usually I'm a journalist, you can cover all the topics, but I also decided to also focus with the human rights, because I think human rights, cover also everything. So I think like, there's like also a lot of like trouble and a lot of issues in Middle East, and like anything you can talk about, like, human rights, politics, climate, like everything, Middle East will be part of it because of like a lot of issues there. But since like, since I'm from Iraq, and if we want to talk also like, for example, about like Middle East, so I can say in the Middle East and specifically in Iraq, if I can talk about it, since I am from there, from this country. So one big issues right now is also like about the water scarcity. So this also is like a big issue right now. And I think since like now the also is like everyone he point out about just the politics issues, or for example also about the human rights, like a situation, especially now in Middle East, not just in Gaza and Israel, also it's like in Syria and Iraq, everywhere. So, but I think like this like also is like really a big issues, and I think like, for example, our pressing issues that ties into the SDG. So I think the challenge, as I said, the water scarcity. So we can mention zum Beispiel like more than zum Beispiel. Sorry, I mixed it with German. So I think if we talk about Iraq, so we're gonna see like Iraq in very bad situation right now, especially if we can like make a combination to climatic conditions, dynamic, and inefficient. So because like also the water management. So I think we need like really a lot of things to do. It's like addressing this requires. There's like should be like multiple approach, like Ali Kinning with several SDGs, especially those related to clean water, sanitations, sustainable, like sustainable cities, and also the climate actions. So yeah, I'm very tired, so I'm so sorry. So yeah, I think like what I want to say, like the water scarcity is like a really big problem in the Middle East right now. So I think since you are already guys like really active in a lot of things, so we can also maybe also like point out these issues, and maybe also we find out how can man like work on that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Hamid, Mr. Rakif. Thank you for coming in this group. I think together we can move on, together we can inspire us. I think today many, not only problems, but also the solutions, kind of which way can we go, so the future becomes a better situation, a better world than it is now. Thank you very much for all your contributions. I also can promise that we will make a report, so we can take it as a recommendation, so we can share it again also afterwards. And we don't close yet, because the most important, very important, also Miss Merli Sokwila-Plaschke, she has prepared some closing remarks, and maybe we even can take 1 or 2 questions after that. So Merli, please, the floor is yours. You're muted.
Thank you, Renate. I would really like to thank everyone in joining us today, this evening. Also those who are watching online from different parts of the world. I want to thank especially all the speakers for their great presentations. Today we had a very enlightening and valuable contributions of best practices. and success stories, very insightful and wonderful combination of perspectives which are relevant to the topic. And with the headline, what can civil society bring to this table to support the Sustainable Development Goals? I hope we can continue to collaborate in the future and in some practical ways. Of course, thanks also to my dear colleagues, WFWP UN Office, Vienna team. It's a great honor for me to work with, and thank you so much for such an amazing work that you do so far. We've made now meet and greet 1 and 2. And together with we at WFWP UN Office Vienna team will be very much delighted to invite you all over again to our next meet and greet. And before I forget, today is 13th of February, year 2024. And some of you who have joined this call from the other side of the globe are almost at dawn of February 14. So I want to take this opportunity to greet one and all, advance happy hearts or Valentine's Day. But before I end, I would like to share with you the following quote. Don't be afraid of the space between your dreams and reality. If you can dream it, you can make it happen. Thank you very much, and see you again next time.
Thank you very much, Miss Melis Aquila Plaschke. Thank you also your husband joining us, you and your side. And yeah, is there any 1 or 2 questions that someone wants to ask to one of the speakers? Maybe there's something in the chat. No. I can assure you that we want to.
Hello?
Yeah, please,
Um,
Miss Massin.
yes. Hello? Yes. Can you see me? Oh, no, my webcam is not working. Oh, okay. Can you see me now?
We hear you. We hear you. We don't see you, but we hear you. You can ask your question.
Okay, my webcam is not working. I'm sorry, but I have a question, if possible, for Miss Myra Collis, that she spoke about empowering mothers, which are usually neglected when talking about female empowerment, and this is actually a topic that I have treated during my studies, like gender empowerment. And there are many, of course, many ideas that have been suggested throughout the years. And I think the most common that has been taken in consideration is microcredit, like initiative to promote female like initiative for entrepreneur. And I was wondering, like, among these various initiative, what, according to Miss Myra Collis, what could be the most suitable of the option to trying to promote mothers' empowerment, considering also, of course, all their commitment to the family. So what could be like the best to try to make everything work together? Yeah, let's say like this.
Thank you so much for your question. Yes, indeed, it's a very big question, but it also depends on where you are and the situations you're in. So when it comes to where do we start and how do we do it to empower ourselves as women, especially as mom. Where are you located again?
Personally, I'm located in Italy.
Oh, in Italy, yeah. So in
Yes, yes.
Europe, right? So
Yeah.
because when it comes to microcredit, I can imagine that is
Yes, of
really
course, it's more
possible
like
to, yeah, it's
it's
really
more like other regions, yeah, not specifically this case, but because I've studied also cooperation for development, and one of the project we worked on was trying to develop initiative to promote gender empowerment in various area of Southeast Asia. So that's why I was thinking of that while listening to your speech.
Yes, yes. But of course, when we think of what is the most possible, it's like we just look around us and also what we do ourselves, right? So I said, like, wherever you are, whatever you do, whatever positions you are, the first thing is, of course, the awareness that we have to really highlight or give a spotlight on the role of mothers, because nowadays we all know, of course, we all know the role of mothers, but it's not really amplified in media. It's not amplified in initiatives. It's not amplified in most of nowadays. For example, a lot of things are amplified, but not the role of mothers, unfortunately. And so that is something that we could advocate for, that we demand for it, especially for the reskilling and upskilling of mothers in the society, even in Europe. I think the European Union is also having some initiatives on continuous development for the adult learners, and that would be one thing. But it's personally speaking, I would also think of, like, for me in the organizations I'm working with, we keep on talking about it. We keep on making this topic like a visible thing, and it's good you're studying about it. And once you write about it and reflect on the roles of mothers, then please do spread the word. Like I've said, advocacy and community engagement, I think, is the right first step to do, and there it can spring to much more initiatives and more tangible actions that could influence policy making, because I believe policy making also play a role here. Like, for example, we hope to influence policy making in the sense that there will be initiatives like microcredits available for moms, or like trainings and programs on entrepreneurship for moms, for migrants, and women in general. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you very much for answering my question. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So is there someone else who wants to ask a question? Please just raise your voice. This is the easiest. We are not so many.
Marlikol is very beautiful and very beautiful you're talking.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question to Mr. Hamid?
Yes, Ferdinand, please.
Yes, of course.
Are you in Iraq now?
No, right now I am in Vienna because, as I mentioned, I am doing my LLM in human rights in Vienna University, but I am, like, going often to Iraq.
Okay.
Europe.
Did I understand right that you have problems with water in Iraq? Did I understand? Okay. So is it getting warmer? Is the temperature there rising, or why do you, I mean,
Yeah, actually, I can't, for example, I can't talk as a specialist in that way, but what I mean, like, as a journalist, also you hear, like, from the specialist, and the situation. I think in Iraq, because, there's like a lot of issues, right? It's like we can call like middle of a crisis, especially in Iraq. Like, yeah. But now, like, what Turkey do, for example, like, this like really make Iraq because, okay, we have two rivers, right? So usually Iraq should be like, has no problem with anything, But the problem, I think, also the politics problem always affect like the whole situation, like everything in Iraq. So and I think like Turkey, what they like, you know, what they are doing with the like damming and stuff like that. I don't know if you hear about it, or for example, what now Ethiopia do with Egypt, you know. So I think in the future, in a few years, we will have, because usually before when you talk about like water scarcity, like usually our attention goes directly to Africa, right? But I think in next year, in upcoming year, Middle East will be like also like really big part of the problem. So what I think, if people that are really active, because today when I hear like all of you guys, they are like, it's really amazing, you know, like everyone here like really does a really good job, and they are really do a great job. So I think if some people, they maybe like they are really, they have more knowledge and they are specialists in that way. I think if they focus more about Middle East, or at least just to like point out, you know, or focus, just highlighted some issues that will help in future. Because I think if we have like Middle East, not like Europe or not like America, you know, if there's like any issues happen, like any issues or any problem, like could be solved like fast.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
clear. Where are you from in Iraq? Are you from
I'm
the
from Baghdad, from the capital.
You're from Baghdad, okay.
Yeah.
So the water is more a political problem, is it?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, okay.
Exactly. Yeah, because usually, like, you know, if you look to the sources, you have no
I
problem.
understand. I understand. Okay. I understand.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Okay,
much.
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I think what we also, this is why we try as Women Federation to encourage, together with all our colleagues and our friends in our networks, to encourage this thinking that we all belong together. Yeah? So that we have to think what is what I'm doing, how does it affect the other? And in the positive way, what can I do to help? Yeah? So if you think of all we are connected, interconnected, then we
Sorry,
can thinking. Yeah. Yeah.
Also, I just add something. I will be end of this month in Baghdad, like for like 10-15 days. If some like of a specialist or NGO, they work on some kind of things and they need some like interviews or stuff like that, I can also do it, like, you know, as a, you know, voluntary. I can do for them there because I still have some good connection in Iraq.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, we will find out if there is someone who wants to meet you there. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah.
Renata, you're muted.
We should come to a close now, I think, because it's getting late, at least for us here in Austria.
Renate, Mrs. Marta Cavallo has a question.
Yeah,
It's
please. Yeah, then please, Marta.
Marta, could you ask a question?
Please raise your voice.
Hello to everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you for inviting me. My question is simple. When we discuss about the women's right and women dignity and so on, because we know our history, how it began, and we fight it so much because we wanted to have dignity, rights, and so on. And now we feel so overwhelmed because we cannot take care of our children and our home and our marriages and so on. When we defend, of course, like Mrs. Myri, it's the name. I don't know if I
Yes,
spoke
Myra.
well. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Defending that, I think that it's okay, it's right, it's good. But don't we are going to make more problems with defending that mothers should, I put like this, should be home and take care of children and so on. It will make them to depend of men again in the financial way and bring more problems. How can we really solve this dignity and rights of women without diminishing her this kind of staying at home. Of course, mother is mother. She has to take care of children and many things. I think that the nature prepared her for this.
Yeah.
But when we see the story, our story since the beginning, we can also see that because of this, when she wanted to take care of children and home and so on, she got another troubles with men, because men came and put his side over, thinking that the man, because he brings financial matters, is better and stronger and so on. So what women have to be submitted. My question is, how can we solve this without breaking the dignity and the value and the rights of women?
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Marta, for that very good question. And it's indeed a very good a very big question, because we have to also acknowledge that every one of us come from different backgrounds and we are raised different ways. You know, our cultural expectations from the East are different from the West. And say, for example, for me as an indigenous person, we are more from a collective environment wherein we look at the collective interests of the community, as opposed in the Western countries when we look at the individual rights, right? So from the perspective of people living in Europe, individual rights is very important. So here it's important that women's rights are really recognized, in the sense that there is equality or equity, and that women and men are treated equally. They are given the same opportunities. Maybe in the Oriental or in collectivist countries like Asia, where I came from, the perception or approach is different. It could be acceptable. But when it comes to, like, yeah, how could we ensure that there is no that it will not lead to other problems? I don't think it will lead to other problems if we demand and advocate for gender empowerment, women empowerment, and the rights of women. I don't think it will create more problem, as long as the things and the initiatives we do doesn't harm other. But that could also be tricky, because sometimes the upholding of the rights of a certain group of people is violating the other rights of other group of people. So there should be a balance. That's why I would like to say it's a collective effort. You know, when we fight and defend for the rights of women, and also for the rights of mothers, to empower mothers, I think the role of the authorities, the policymakers, the decision makers play a very important role. That's why when I say mothers can also go to work, they could be empowered, they could pursue personal development and professional development, but at the same time, the systems around us, the institutions around us, should also call on providing accessible childcare services. These women should be supported, right? We should all be supported in order to be able to pursue our personal or professional goals as well. Because some of us may be okay and are happy staying as stay-at-home moms, but some of us also are more fulfilled and find things when they work and pursue for their career. So it's a collective effort, both from personal level, societal level, the people in the society, the authorities, our policymakers, decision makers, and everything else. So balance, and considering the harm principle, that as long as we don't harm other people in every action that we do, I think we can keep the dignity intact. I hope that overall answers your question, Marta. Maybe some others would also like to add.
Yeah, somehow it's okay. It's okay. Of course, it's a process. I
Yes,
think
Maria
it's a process.
Charles,
Okay. Thank you very much.
Marley Charles, I have a question.
Yeah. Ribka.
Yeah, I have a question. If I were the mother of this orphanage, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Else the question is, I am mother in orphanage children's. Yeah, thank you.
What's the question? You just said
My
you're the mother.
My question, I am mother of orphanage children's. You know, I am mother of orphanage children's.
Yes, yes. You mean to say the definition of a mother? What makes a mother a
Yeah.
mother? Yes, yes.
Yeah.
That's really a good question, because while I'm preparing for my talk, I wanted to say that the definition of mother doesn't only mean the biological mother, because there are also here who didn't have children but are taking care of multiple children of their sisters or their brothers, but they are having this mother role, right? So for you,
Yes,
you
I
are
have.
yeah.
Yes,
So
I have
you
75 students. I
yes.
have 75. Yeah.
Yes. So you are taking the mother role for those children. So in this
Yeah.
sense, yes, you are a mother, I would say.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
How old? Now, how many children do you have in your orphanage?
I have 75 children, and some children have parents, and some children have no parents.
And how many orphans do you have?
I have orphanage 75. Oh, sorry,
75.
35.
Oh.
35
how many-
orphanage children, and
Yeah, but
some children have parents.
how many children without parents? How many children without parents? How many orphans are there?
35.
35.
25.
25.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And some have parents, and some no have parents.
But okay, but you have no children, or do you have children?
Biological children.
I am unmarried, and I take care. I take care in some orphanage children, and some
Yeah.
have no.
Okay, you are unmarried. Okay.
Yeah.
Teresa.
She's only 20 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit like Mother
And she
Teresa.
has
yeah,
how many
okay.
children adopted?
Like Mother Teresa, you know.
That's
Okay.
right.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Eureka.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for contributing, for patience. I think we do conclude now, but we can continue relationships and communication afterwards. If you want to talk, then please come back to us and ask for email. We can share email addresses of all the speakers if they allow us to do so. If someone requests, we can pass on. So thank you very much for taking so much time. Also for our listeners, we had, I think, 25 listeners. So thank you for spending the time with us. I think we all learned something. Again, we realized the multifaceted aspects of everything, and we will share the report, which is also then kind of a recommendation again, what to think about. And we can, our brains start working again to find solutions or to make connections also with you, Ripka. I have an idea. There is a very nice person from Pakistan I really want to connect you with, because he's working for human rights and for better situation of people there. So maybe he can help you in a more local way. Yeah. Thank you very much for coming in. I hope I didn't miss anyone. I didn't want to cut anyone off, but someone
Okay,
wants
thank
to
you
say
so much.
very last word, or just say, let's say good night, and we stay together, we stick together. There will be chances to
Okay.
meet again.
Okay, good night.
Is this okay for
Here
everyone? Yes, thank you very much.
Here
Yeah.
time 1:32. Pakistan here time 1:32.
Oh, so you need to go to bed to have power
Yeah.
for children. Yes, thank
Okay,
you very
thank
much.
you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you
Good
so much.
night and good day. Bye.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Night.
Good
Thank
night.
Good
Nice.
night.
Thank
Serena
you.
stayed with us to the end. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Very
Thank you.
much.
Bye
See you
bye.
guys tomorrow.
Bye.
God bless.
Thank you. Thank you.
Inspiring speakers. Thank you
Very inspiring contributions. Yeah, we learned a lot.
for your contribution.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.